Hi friends, my name is Sherry. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are all having a fantastic day. Here in Cali, it's very nice weather. It's not hot. Thankfully, we're out of the hundreds. Okay, guys, this is my German Shepherd. This is Chili. If you can see him up here. Yep, there you go. Okay, get down. Anyways, I hope you guys are all having a fantastic day. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make a baby blanket from start to finish. If you guys have not seen my last video, I actually gave a tutorial on how to make your first blanket. So how to cast on chain and how to finish off the blanket. So if you haven't seen that, go watch that. All right, let's get started on the baby blanket. All right, so for today's blanket, we are going to need 3 skeins of yarn. I'm going to be using 2 of the Ivory Eternal Bliss yarn bee from Hobby Lobby. And I'm going to be using the Brene yarn, the big blanket, and Misty Green from Michaels. Okay, so we are going to start off with the Ivory. Put those there. And you're going to need a lighter, scissors, and a measuring tape if you want to measure your baby blanket. Typically, my baby blankets end up being around 30 by 30. All right, so what we are going to do first is do a cast on. So we're going to be making a chain with 20 hoops. All right, so let's level this a bit. All right, so we are going to make our beginning loop, our knot. There we go, our slip knot. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and cast on 21 more chains or loops. So we're just going to pull through, and each of my loops are going to be 3 fingers to start with, because you don't want your beginning loops to be too tight, because your blanket will curve. So we're just going to cast on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Okay, so let's make sure we have it right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Okay, so now we are just going to start our second row here. So this first loop is going to go up, and that's going to be the first loop in our next row. So here we go, and we are going to be doing the basic stitch for right now, and then we will be moving on to the pearl blanket once I switch colors. Pearl blanket, pearl stitch. Nice. Okay. Oh. All the way down. There we go. And you want to try to get your stitches as close as you can together. So when you're going through and pulling that yarn through the hoop, you want to get as close as you can to that next stitch. It Just makes for a nicer blanket, not so many holes in the blanket. And each of my loops is about 2 fingers. To me, the tighter the stitch, the neater it looks. As you work up on your blanket, the stitches will be in a nice row. Okay. So that is our first row. We're just going to do the same thing until we get to the change of yarn. So if you are new to making blankets, it's important to, after each row, to count how many loops you have. That way, you're not having to go back to try and fix it. There are ways to fix it, but if you can prevent it, it's better. We are ready to switch colors. So let's unwrap this. Okay. I always switch yarn colors 1 loop before the end. So I'm going to go ahead and put this last loop in here. And then I'm going to cut right there. Okay. And there are 2 methods that I've used to connect yarn. In the past, I used the knot method, where you basically just tie it in a knot and pull on it really well to make sure it's connected. But I actually prefer to use the burn method and burn the 2 pieces together. Details on all of that too are in the first YouTube video that I posted, and tutorial on how to make a blanket. All right, so let's get all the fuzzies off. Make sure you can feel the piping pretty good. So yeah, we're good there. Okay, so I'm going to burn this end here. And we're just going to put them together, hold it for a couple seconds, and then you're going to want to kind of mold it, twist it type thing so that the ends melt together and don't have any sharp edges. So you're just going to kind of always want to give it a good tug, make sure it's connected. There we go. Now we have our color switch. So there we go. And the reason why I like to do it that way is you have more of a seamless transition of color on the edges. Okay, so I am going to do 1 more row of regular knit stitches, and then I'm going to do 2 rows of purl stitches. So let's get the row of knit stitches in. And if I haven't mentioned, I don't remember if I did, my working yarn, I always like to work towards it. So I move it to the opposite side that I'm working on. It just works better for me. I feel like I can move a little bit faster that way. Okay. There we go. Almost done. All right. Nice, clean. Okay. So now we are going to add 2 rows of purl stitches, which basically is what the back of the blanket is looking like right now. Behind it, these are all purl stitches. So if you know how to do the knit stitch, you know how to do the purl stitch. There are 2 ways to do that right now. So you can flip it around like this and start doing a regular knit stitch, but flipped over. Or you can do purl stitches this way. So instead of pulling your working yarn through the loop, you're going to put your working yarn, you're going to push your working yarn through the loop. So you're just going to take it and push it in front. And you can see right here it's a little bit different. I can also flip it around and just do a knit stitch, which you can tell looks the same. If you're new to it, I probably would recommend flipping it around and continuing with your knit stitches, but if you feel comfortable, I would just do it the front of the blanket, and all you're doing is just pushing it through the loop instead of pulling it through. So push through. And we're going to do 2 rows of purl stitches. When you get to this last one, though, the last stitch of the row, knit stitch, just a regular knit stitch. You want this to be uniformed all the way down. So no matter what you're doing in the middle of the blanket, you always want to make sure you do these last stitches as the last loops on each, at the end of each of the blanket as a knit stitch. All right. Okay, so those are our 2 rows of purl stitches. I'm going to flip it so you can see what it looks like on the back. There we go. So it looks like the regular knit stitch on the back as opposed to the purl stitches. All right, so we're going to carry on. We're going to do knit stitches now until we get closer to the end of this, and then we'll add in 2 more rows of purl stitches and then finish off with a knit stitch, and then continue on with our other skein of ivory yarn. Make sure we have enough for the last 3 rows. So I am just going to do a quick measure of how much yarn we have left. I can get 1 more row, I think, and then I will do the 2 rows of purl stitches and the last row of knit in the misty green. We're going to do 2 rows of purl stitches now, and then a row of knit. Purl, you're going to push through the loop. So instead of going under and behind, you're going to go over and through. We're going to 2 rows. Okay, that was our 2 rows of purl. Now we're going to go continue our knit and also switch colors. We're almost at the end of our row, and we will be switching colors. We'll go back to ivory. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Okay, 22 stitches still. Just had to make sure. All right, so we are going to switch colors now. Back to the ivory. All right, so our last bundle of yarn. We are almost done with the baby blanket. Okay, so we're going to cut here. And we're going to attach the new yarn. Give it a cut. Let's see. We're looking for that plastic tubing that's in here. Make sure we can feel it so that it melts when we burn. Connect it to this. Here we go. Oops. Okay. Yep, that's burning. All right. We're going to hold it for a couple of seconds, push it together, and then I usually just start twirling it, rolling it. Like I said, you don't want that sharp edge in the blanket. And then give it a tug test. There we go. See, didn't work. Sometimes that happens, and that's okay. You just do it again. But I'm glad that happened so you guys could see. Let's give this a cleaner cut. Okay. That's better. I can really feel it. Okay. So, light it up again. Push it together. Push, 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 push it in. And we are going to twist it. Give it a tug. Tug test. And there we go. Okay. That's better. And we are going to continue with our knit stitches now. For me, as I'm working on blankets and they start to get longer, I roll them. Makes it easier to work with that way. Okay, we're just going to go doing knit stitches now all the way to the close to the end of the ball of yarn. You probably want to leave maybe like double the length of the blanket of yarn to close off the blanket with. Okay. So once you start doing them for a while, you'll know exactly the amounts that you're going to need to close off the blanket. You can just eye it. Knits all the way through. I think what I want to do over here is add a little misty green heart into the blanket. So I'm going to show you how to do that. We, get my scissors, are going to need to do another color change. So we're going to cut right here. And clean it. Yep, feel that. Okay. We're going to grab a piece of the sage green yarn. And we are going to attach it here. We are going to do one loop with the sage green yarn, and it's gonna end up looking like a heart. Now there's two ways to add hearts into your blanket. You can do it this way, or you can do it after the fact too. But this is the preferred way, well, my preferred way. So we have that attached. All we're going to do is do a loop here And then we're going to go back to our ivory yarn. I like to make the hearts a little bit, the loop in the hearts a little bit bigger than the rest. That way it just stands out to be, it's a little bit fluffier. So all I did was do basically a color change with a different color yarn, small. We're just going to do one. And we're going to attach the ivory yarn back to it. And then when we start knitting, you'll actually see the heart. So I think it's just super sweet to add the little hearts in there, especially on a baby blanket. I've done them where I've added a lot more hearts, but on this one, I'm trying to keep it simple, and I thought just one heart would be sweet. All right, test our yarn, tug, test, and we're good. All right, so here we go. And I think we're going to do maybe 2 more rows of the ivory and then close off. Okay. Maybe 1. Let's see how we go. Okay. So you can see it's taken on a heart shape. I'll give you a closer look once we're done making the blanket. This is going to be our last row, and then we'll close off the blanket. We'll cast off. Okay, just so you can kind of see a little bit better the heart in the blanket. All right, time to cast off. So we're going to close the blanket up. To do that, I like to take 2 loops, pull the working yarn through, grab the next loop, working yarn through, and grab the next loop, working yarn through. See, we're making a nice chain here to close off the blanket. There we go. Just going to do that all the way down, 2 loops, pull your working yarn through, 1, 2, working yarn through, 1, 2, working yarn through, all the way to the end of the blanket. There we go. You're almost there. I'll show you what the back looks like. Baby blankets make great gifts. Great addition to gift baskets or just on their own. Okay, to make sure. There we go. And the last 2. We're just going to pull the yarn through all the way. There we go. Pull it tight. All right, and I'm going to show you what we're going to do with the tails in here in a second, but let's just take a look and see what our blanket's looking like. All right, and there we have it. Let's flip it. This is what the back of the blanket is looking like. Nice and fluffy. You can see where we did the color changes and the different stitches. Okay, and the front of the blanket, it's curling up. That's just because I had it rolled up. It'll flatten out once you play around with it for a minute. It'll flatten out. Basically, you can tuck them. You're going to make a knot, another knot in here to finish it off. And then I usually just tuck tails in between here. Some people like to cut it off completely, burn the end, or sew the end. But for me, I just simply tuck it through here. The yarn is so thick that you don't even really see it. And then we'll do this side. We're going to cut this. It's a little bit too long of a tail. We'll just let's just go right there. Okay, same thing. Knot. Pull tight. So I think I was off camera there. But yeah, tight knot, and then you're just gonna tuck it into the blanket. Yeah. Like so, and that's it. That is our blanket. There we go. Okay, that ends our tutorial for today. I hope you enjoyed it. We made a baby blanket using ivory and misty green colors, and I added a heart in there. I just think they're so sweet. I'm not sure what the next video is going to be about. Probably put it out next week, but stay tuned. And I hope you guys all have a fantastic day. Peace and love.